presentations. Mr. Dallas Blankenship, Lincoln County Closed Bond. There's several things that we've been involved in over the last several days. We did this on people in the community. Superintendent worked with us quite a bit. Appreciate the intense support they give. Anytime you approach asking in the community as on an issue, it's a big issue, and it's important for the entire community. So what we hope to do is to make sure that the entire community knows that the school board and that we are listening. And we go out and have these community meetings in the spring, then we would anticipate that parents, interested citizens, anyone in the community come there and share in that community what they're interested in. And then we would like to gather that information and make sure that the board has all of that. Because ultimately the board will make the decision about what projects need to go on the bond policy. And so we've been doing what I would characterize as preliminary work in meeting some of the people in the community. For example, we've been to Circle Clerk. We will help hold the election. Tomorrow we have Mark Manchin, the second Mark Manchin. We'll spend some time with him. And we've got to look at the new schools being built, but we'll also talk about some of the needs in Lincoln County. We have had an opportunity to visit numerous people in the community, and we'll continue to do that. We met with the newspaper and just talk in general. It's not time for a campaign, but it is time to let people know that this is going to occur and how important it is. And the superintendent, as we met today, has agreed to, at each monthly meeting, wouldn't necessarily be David arrive, but someone will talk about the bond campaign, the bond issue, and things that have taken place that will lead up to the vote. A few preliminary decisions that we have tentatively made. We also always want to keep in mind board superintendent and the fact that you all will ultimately make the major decisions. But early next spring, in April, we're looking at having 6 different community meetings, and we'll go to each of the schools, and we'll invite the school improvement teams and others to be in attendance at those meetings so that they can share their best ideas about what the school needs. And we will carefully collect all of that information, written information, and we'll have someone that taking notes so that we gather those ideas and we'll put that into a format so that the board will have all of that prior to making a decision about which projects and what will be done. We will also help to put together a community, a committee, one similar to the one that worked a year or so ago to put together the facility plan. And by the way, you have a very, as you know, new and viable plan in place. So it's not like we're starting from level 0. On the other hand, I think the thing that David Ferguson and I want to do is to work with your staff as we have these meetings in the community and make sure that we're listening to you. Now, I could go on and on about a lot of intermediate steps that we have taken and things that we hope to do, but those are kind of the highlights. I might mention one other thing that maybe David could add to this. We would expect in the next month and a half to put out an RFP for a bond counsel, okay, for this issue, and they would provide financial advice and support as we move toward having a bond issue. And you want to ask you that?
We'll get the templates for that advertisement to their staff so that they can put that advertisement out. Hopefully by November, we'll have the advertisement out, and by you all can select around November those two firms, so your financial advisor as well as your bond counsel, so that you get the bond all ready. There's a lot of legal steps that has to happen in a time frame prior to your vote. So we want to make sure you get those folks on board soon enough so you don't miss those opportunities and miss any deadlines. But they'll help guide you along the way and get those people on board.
I think the board will need to serve a strong role in helping to form the ultimate bond call. And of course, we're asking the community through taxes to improve schools. And so that's always a tough issue to put out there. On the other hand, we all know that there are some great needs. And so we hope that the community can see that through the process that we put in place. We're looking tentatively at an election next December. Now, that's not in stone, but we've been talking to people, including the city clerk and others who have had experience with bond issues. We think that it's important enough that we probably don't want to put it in with the general election or some other election. It's one it's important enough to stand on its own. And so that would be our preliminary suggestion as we move forward. So we're tentatively looking at mid-December next year, and so we'll put all the steps in place to lead up to that goal.
We also hope that once we get a figure put together for the actual amount of bond, is to marry that with school building authority funds so that we can do more projects. We have more than projects out there using support from school building authority as well. That will favorably, they never turn that down in the past in any county. So as long as you show the initiative to go out and get your bond, they will help you with the greater deal amount of money as well.
We had a meeting a few days ago, the superintendent and David and Jeff and I with some people in Cabell County that not too long ago passed a successful bond issue. So there are some things that you need to do as a community and school employees and board members. And I think our role, board, all of us working in this direction, is to help the community make an informed decision. And certainly, all of the voters out there, including school employees and others, have the right to vote any way they want to. But our role is to give a good ear to what people want, and then also put that in a form that people hopefully will go to. So, if you have questions, we'll see them.
As far as the school government, but with the bond call, the issue, the election issue, will that be specific and type contingent upon SBA funding?
Their funding will be contingent on you passing.
Whatever the issue passes, then the SBA money will also have to be available to proceed.
Yes.
You have to have both sides of the equation.
Yes, to do what's in the bond.
And you were saying that SBA is going to pass.
Correct.
Probably a balance between the needs of what the taxpayers will support and then what they will bring to the table. We've been fortunate in having SBA help quite a bit here in the last few years. So, we're optimistic that we can complement the local voter effort as we learn.
You mentioned the house about monthly update meetings.
What we'll do is on the board agenda, either the superintendent, Jeff, it could be David or I, or a combination, we'll give you an update of some of the things that are going on as we move through the election. And that would be at school board meetings.
When do you really just say what the meetings?
Right now.
So every
Yeah,
month?
yeah, every month.
Hopefully we'll have something, we'd like to have something on the agenda just to bring over the things that we've done, or
And probably half the time it'll be the superintendent or Jeff that provide that, but there'll be other times that we. Well, the RFP goes out, and of course, different entities, organizations will have a chance to bid or put in their bid for that service, and then, David, take it from there.
We basically, it's similar to selecting architects and engineers. You go out for request for proposals, they send a proposal in for professional service. You interview those teams with your accountant and your bookkeeper team and your superintendent, and you select what you feel is the best firm to do that. They generally come, there's several really good firms out there. We'll give you some names for those as well as the that's basically how you do it. Kind of something you do.
The countywide committee will be selected in a similar fashion as the one that was put together for the previous facility plan. And so we want every school represented, we want the principal involved in each school, and certainly someone from each local school council, and then there could be a couple other members involved in that committee. And then that committee will come together with all the information, and we will put a plan together that will then come to the board with all the supporting information for the peer reviews and everything else.
So that's the 10-year plan.
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
No, but it would be almost that format. It could be some of the same members, probably.
I don't have a question, it's more of a statement, I'm not sure that the public knows that Green County was given SBA money and didn't pass the bond, and the money went back.
That's correct. That's why I say the SBA's involvement is almost always contingent on the passing of your bond. If your bond does not pass, you have no other supporting money until you're done. They withdraw their obligation. That's the way it typically happens.
Roger, any questions? Thank you.
Good to see you.
All right, now we're ready for the LSIC reports. John Ballard.
Mr. King, please show up on these.
Unfortunately, we do not have the technology yet to do that. But the good news that was shared with me earlier this week may make that happen.
We have to use I'd like to say good evening. I want to thank the board for this opportunity to present. Also want to recognize a couple of staff members that are here to express my appreciation to them. That's Ms. Esther Nelson, Technology Integration Specialist. Can't do without her. Mr. Joe Hartley, 8th grade reading language arts teacher. Can't do without him. Very thankful for all of our staff. They do a lot of hard work. I want to say thank you to our central office staff who's here as well. And of course, everyone that is here with us tonight. Mr. Brunning, a lot of these things that you see were accomplished under his leadership. So appreciate all of his hard work from last year. Congratulate him on his new position. Of course, we are Guy Valley Middle School. I'm currently the interim principal. Kevin Hutchison is serving as my assistant principal. And that is a wildcat head, not a wildcat head. As some have mentioned this evening. Want to give just a little overview of what's happened over the past year. Our West Test, we had a 99.24% participation rate, which is very high. Our attendance rate last year was 97.4%. You can see our gains from 2010 to 2011 in mathematics. Overall, was a 10% increase. Our sub-sales, we made AYP in all of their sub-sales with the exception of their area of special education. We're currently addressing those issues, and we hope to move up in this cell this coming year. Again, in reading language arts, you notice a 13% increase. These were great gains, and we're very proud of all of our staff and our students that worked so hard to attain these numbers. Again, the same principle applies here in our sub-cells. We're still not meeting in the area of special education, but we have measures in place, and I'll discuss those momentarily on what we're doing to close that achievement gap. Our diagnostic tools that we use are two main ones, of course, are our Scholastic Reading Inventory and our Scholastic Math Inventory. Our Scholastic Reading Inventory measures student reading levels by Lexiles, gives us a projection of where they are pertaining to grade level. Our Scholastic Math Inventory measures with quantiles, again giving us a snapshot of where students are pertaining to grade level in mathematics. Two programs that we currently have in place that I do believe aided in their success last year are Read 180 and System 44. Read 180 is in place to serve students who are at least 2 grade levels behind in reading. We have seen great growth. According to Scholastic, students are expected to grow on average between 75 and 100 Lexiles per year. We saw students make 200 and 300 gains in 1 year last year. So we're very glad for that. System 44, we have that in place to assist our non-readers or our beginning readers. We got that going about halfway through the year last year, and we're fully operational and up and running with that this year. So again, we're anticipating seeing great things as a result of these. Other programs that we have addressing the area of mathematics, Cognitive Tutor, and Acuity. Of course, Acuity addresses both math and reading language arts deficiencies. West Virginia Writes is the online writing program that we use to help our students become better writers. We have Tech Steps that we have in place to address our 21st century learning skills. I'm going to give kudos to Ms. Nelson on that. We have a high percentage of students who are participating in Tech Steps. And the name escapes me of what it is that they measure that by.
Tech attain points.
Tech attain points. Thank you. And our points are very high. Do you know that number right offhand?
60% of our kids made the Tech attain points. We have 100% participation in all 18 projects.
So that's very good.
The Tech attain points add up from 6th grade, 7th grade, and 8th grade. So they had to have a total of 125 last year. Like I said, about 67% of our kids did.
Some other strategies that we have in place, things that we are doing currently in order to increase student achievement, is our test talks. That's where we sit down with our kids, we present the data to them, they take ownership of that, and we begin to look, students begin to set goals for themselves on what they need to do in order to increase their scores. Again, we give students the ownership of their education. Has a big influence. One student commented last year, he said, nobody's ever done this with me, it makes a lot more sense. Adopt a student, we've taken students that we feel may be at risk, and each teacher has adopted at least one, sometimes in some cases 3, 4, and 5 students that we just check on, give them a little pep talk, a little encouragement every now and then, let them know that they have an advocate, somebody that's there for them. We currently are working on our interventions in which we pull students out, related arts classes when needed, when they have large skill deficiencies, so that we are able to correct any deficiencies that they may have. Our teachers use a period of their planning or their duty, to take care of these. We're real excited about what this is going to lead to. As far as discipline, just what's going on with our kids, we have a respect and protect program, which is kind of characterized by our cats. Rewards, come to school daily, always prepared, treat others with respect and strive for success. These are the expectations for our kids. We tell them this, it's communicated to them on a weekly basis. This is what we expect you to do. Of course, when they don't follow that, then we take whatever discipline measures that we need to take. Here is a slide that I'm very proud of. We got these numbers the other day, and it may be just a little misleading. I want you to understand that the gold is 2010, the blue is 2011. You will see that blue is a lower number. But these are our rankings. Out of 156 middle schools in 2010, in reading language arts, we were 141st out of 156. In math, 134th. Social studies, 130th. Science, 143rd. 2011, we moved from 141st to 103 out of 156 in the area of reading language arts. 78th out of 156 in the area of math. 91st out of 156 in social studies, and 117th in the area of science. We communicated, Mr. Polly communicated these numbers to us and our staff the other day. Some good win for the sales. Lets us know that we're headed in the right direction, we're on the right track. And that we're seeing achievement take place at Guyan Valley Middle School. Facility needs, we need HVAC or just air conditioning would be great in their gym. Heat takes care of itself. We're a little warm over there in the late summer, early fall, and in the spring. Some air conditioning would be very beneficial so that we may be able to utilize our gymnasium more. Also, we need to possibly look at resurfacing our walkways to our gymnasium from our school. We had a water line issue. Contractors had to come in and do some work, did a lot of digging, a lot of mud. It's kind of messy. Ms. Smith knows kids are walking through a lot of mud there, so we kind of an immediate thing that we want for you guys to consider and look at. A couple other things. Of course, the school is a very old building, built in 1926. If you'd ever be interested, I could take you the tour of what it looked like then in their boiler room. Mr. Hartley knows firsthand. He was there when they. He knows about it. That, of course, just our building's old. Needs a lot of TLC. Needs a lot of love. Of course, we'd like to see a new building there in the near future, if at all possible. Again, I want to extend my thanks to Mr. King, Mr. Emma Elementary, for hosting us here tonight. Thank you all for coming. Have any questions?
I have a question. Ms. Lucas, we talked about the air conditioning gymnasium before. I care about that. What's our plans?
I have an update, but it's up here on. I didn't bring back your good thing. Actually, I think they're meeting with Dana Smith September the 8th regarding the different phases of the power. So on September the 8th, that meeting is already set up.
So Dana Smith mentioned the other day in our cabinet meeting that we're waiting on AEP to install three-phase. And once that happens, then his folks in there with the unit setting up. So
That must be who he's meeting with on the 8th, September 8th.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
so we'll move it.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Hey, and another thing, that the resurfacing the walkway,
Yes, sir.
that's asphalt, am I correct?
Yes.
Okay, so that would be something that we would probably
It's
look
not
at.
that much of a walkway. I mean, it's not as long as this building here. It's a little, well, it's good size wide, but it's not real wide. But it's impossible to walk with something like this on there. It's dangerous.
Is it behind the school? Is it that, like the road right there with going to the gym? You want to talk
It's
about?
going to the gym, but it's not a road. It's a walkway. It's where they,
Jack, you go to the open.
Okay.
going to the back door of the gym. But it is very dangerous to try to walk on it. It's all rutted out. It's in pretty bad shape. That's something I don't think that can wait until like a bond, and then we'll take that much to do it anyways. I think it's something that needs done now.
Well, that's gonna be a problem. Should have to be routine maintenance. We need to get that done.
Right.
There.
Especially during football season.
Yes.
There's a lot of traffic.
And we do have the units already to put in the gym as soon as they get that wiring done.
Great. We'll be good, right? Speaking to satisfying.
Yes, yeah.
Appreciate you. Any other questions?
Who tore the road up?
What's that?
Who tore the road up out there, the walkway?
When they were in there digging, to replace the
Water company?
No, it was the contractors. Simco was the one to replace the water line. The water
For Guy
company,
Valley Middle School or was it for the water company? or-
it was the line going from the water meter to the gymnasium that was old and rotted, and then had the contractor.
It belonged to the county thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, John.
All right.
Appreciate it. Ranger. I'm sorry.
We have a PowerPoint, but I'm going to give a paper copy, and I still like to have hers. I'm sorry. I'm trying to use that to you.
That's good.
Pretty much accepted.
Thank you very much for allowing us to come down and showcase our school, my babies. I'm sorry to say we didn't make AYP last year, but we did have lots of positive gains, and that's very important to me. So, you know, AYP is just a number. So as long as we're making positive gains, that's the most important thing. If you will look, as you go through your packet, or as Elaine puts through our PowerPoint, the West Test data that we have, we're going to go ahead and go through it first. And we took the percent proficient, comparing Ranger to Lincoln County and to the state. And in math, we had 32.7% proficient in grades 3 through 5. The state had, the county had 35.10. And if you look at our reading proficiency, we had 43.64. The county had 39.11. In science, we had 33.33. And in social studies, we had 38.89% of our children proficient. On the next page, if you look, we broke it down by grade level. We had 100% participation rate in our reading, language arts. 20% of our children scored partial mastery in 3rd grade. 35% were at or above mastery. So that 20% is really getting targeted this year with extra support, because we know that we can really make a difference if we target that percentage as well as enrich those children, that other 35% that were at or above. And then we have the other 45% that were below mastery, that we have intensive tutoring and other avenues to work on to get those up to mastery. In 4th grade, we had 100% participation. We had 50% of our children at or above mastery,
and 30% were at partial mastery. So this year, we are really focusing on giving those children the extra support. And we have the Read 180 program that is the first elementary school in the county to use this, because it was very well received in the middle schools and saw lots of support for it. So we thought that would be a way for us to help meet those students' needs that have skill gaps that are partial mastery. That would be a great avenue to get them up to mastery. So we're really using that program. Those children go for the 180 minutes, plus we have the 90-minute reading block along with that. So they are getting almost triple dose in reading language arts. And then we look at our math, and we're giving those children extra tutoring and intensive tutoring slots within the school day outside of the math block, because we want to really focus on those two particular subjects, but we are incorporating and integrating all of our science and all of our social studies within our reading and our math blocks. So they're still getting all that exposure to science and social studies, using lots of expository text in our classrooms to integrate across the curriculum all of the skills and all of the things that we're teaching in every subject area. In 5th grade, we have 50% at or above in reading language arts and 20.8% partial mastery. In math, in 3rd grade, we had 20% at or above mastery. Partial mastery was 40. 4th grade, 40% partial mastery, 60% at or above. And Ms. Pam Crumb's here tonight. This was amazing. When I looked at these numbers and saw the growth that those babies made that 1 year, it was unreal to look at how much growth they made and how close, almost 100%. So you know, you can't ask for anything more than that. But I know that group is going to make it this year. Every child in that group is going to make it to master. So when you look at our 5th grade, which Jeremy has, Jonah has this year, we had 33% at or above mastery, and then we had 33% partial. He has his work cut out for him, but those are really, really good children. And I know that they're going to be successful there. I know he's going to meet their needs, as well as the teachers that are there. And those children are going to be at or above mastery. So when we look at the subgroups, our biggest challenge is our male children. In reading, in math, that's our biggest challenge, is getting them ready, but getting them with the desire to want to do better and want to learn, and getting things that they are interested in so that they will put forth extra effort. But our male population, the number of them that were tested was 27. In reading language art, we only had 29.63% of them proficient. And in math, 29.63. But if you look at our female population, 57.14. And then math is 35.71. So in reading, our girls really stood out. So we have got to find some things that are interesting for our boys to entice them, to make them want to read and become better readers. We have ordered Time Magazine this year. We are doing newspapers for social studies, science magazines. We're trying to pull things in that we think will get the boys motivated in reading and in math. Our children with disabilities, out of 14 students, 35.71% of those children were proficient in reading language arts. And in math, 14.28. So we have got a lot of work before us to get those children where they need to be before they leave us. On the next sheet, we did individual comparison. And I looked at my 3rd grade students in 2009-10. and compared their score to the fourth grade students that they were last year. And look at the growth they made from third grade to fourth grade. They were 13.33 reading, and they led those same students. 50% of them were proficient in reading. And in math, 60% were proficient. So that was my third grade into fourth grade. My fourth grade into fifth grade, the proficiency was 44% when they were in fourth grade, went up to 50% in fifth grade. And then we had 32% in math, went up to 33.3. So we're making positive growth. It's just we've got to make it a little faster and a whole lot more of it. So ways that we are planning on trying to get, or striving to get that growth is through data analysis, with our DIBELS, our West Test, our Scholastics reading inventory, our Scholastic math inventory, the process writing, the West Virginia Writes, differentiated instruction. And if you would go in the classrooms, you would see a lot of children where the teachers are making an extra effort to make sure that their needs are being met in every subject area. We have tiered instruction in our reading and math, still yet, we're still doing tutoring. It may be inside the regular classroom. We're doing small group, and we're doing students that we know need the extra help. We are going to pull out and give them those extra minutes during their computer lab time. I have children that have agreed themselves to give up their PE 2 days a week for math tutoring because they want to be successful. They want to score mastery. They want those skills. So that was a question that we proposed to them. They all agreed. Every child that was close agreed they want to give that up 2 days a week just to do it. We've got the Read 180 program. We're using Wilson's. We're also using a lot of teaching strategies. Every teacher this summer was trained on APL strategies. We're using it school-wide. So we want them to have the respect for themselves, respect for others. We want them the teachers to use all those strategies because if they're having the children repeat what their questions were or what they need to be doing, then we know that they are listening. We know they're on target. We know that they're going to do what's expected of them. We are wanting to have the critical skills after school program, and Charlie and I have talked about this, so I'm hoping that we can get that in place as soon as possible. Last year we were very late in getting it started, and that didn't have a big impact. I want that early this year. I want them to have that before them so that they get the opportunity to have that extra after school time. Even if parents have to transport, I've got parents willing to do that. So we want that opportunity for them. We have co-teaching within our classrooms. We have our Title I people going in co-teaching. We also, with our special services teacher, he is going in and team teaching or co-teaching. And we're also using the IPAP with our kindergarten. And we're going to be using some of those activities within our preschool classroom, just as an enhancement to prepare those children with listening skills and with working together skills, things that are normally taught, but in a constructive manner. So we want that to be occurring. Now, I gave you on the next pages, there is a couple explanations of what Read 180, an overview of it. Oh, I'm sorry, I've got it wrong page in mine. Innovative practices is next. We're doing weekly vertical team meetings where the staff, K-2 staff is working together, as well as the 3 through 5. We've even made the offering that all the grade levels can come to West Hamlin. Last year we had several teachers that were new people, and they came to West Hamlin and worked with grade level meetings because they didn't have anyone to meet with at Ranger. So it was very well taken and served a great purpose for our teachers to come here and share with West Hamlin teachers. So we had a lot of participation in that last year. We're going to do the same thing this year. We have weekly staff development meetings. We're doing the IPI, and I did include an overview of that. We had the Ranger Responsible Students Program, where it's the STAR, and it stands for Strive to be responsible, turn in all of your assignments, attend school daily, and respect self, others, and school property. And every day, they have the opportunity to earn Ranger Bucks. And we're providing activities at the end of each 9 weeks to reward them. So APL strategies are working right into that, and it's worked very smoothly. We are doing the Fresh Fruits and Vegetables grant again, promoting healthy movement by utilizing technology within our PE classrooms, and as rewards, the PlayStation games and the Wii games, we're incorporating that as activities that are strenuous, believe me, and it's fun, and kids enjoy it. So they will strive to participate in things and to do their best to go in there and exercise, more or less. But they're having fun at it. So, we're using those things. And we're planning a couple of book studies this year. The next page is our attendance rate, and it's 97.9 for last year. But we have a graph on the next page that shows it from like 2007-8, and you can see the gradual incline of how our students are making an extra effort, conscious effort to be at school. And if they're at school, then I know they're going to take out something positive for that day. They're going to learn something. And that's all I can ask. If they come and show up and listen and participate, they're going to learn. Our facility needs. Last year we talked about this, the media center, and that's just a goal of mine because I feel that is something that community needs, as well as our children in the school. If we had a media center that was open, that we could open in the evening for some of our parents, it would have such a great impact, positive impact for them. And then we talked to Mr. Smith about some energy efficient insulated window panels. Our windows in our older classrooms are very old, and lots of air is going out and lots of air is coming in. So to give us more wall space, we talked with him about possibly putting up some panels that would cover like 3/4 of the windows, which would be energy efficient, help us with our heating costs as well as our cooling. And it would also give the teachers places to display work, as well as post things that need to be posted within the classroom. So we're getting extra bang for our buck there if we can get that to happen. And on the last page, it's believe, achieve, and succeed. And if you've been to Ranger, that's our sign. It says Ranger Elementary. And we believe that we will be successful and our children will achieve their goals as long as we set them and help them strive to meet them. So thank you very much.
Can we talk to Dana about the panels?
Yes, for one classroom, but then when I got to looking at, there was 4 classrooms that need them. And
He was pretty receptive to that. He said that he would be able to.
For the one classroom, he said he would check on prices. He and Mr. Parsons were going to get together and see what the pricing was going to be and the sizes and everything, and hopefully we can have that accomplished.
And on the media center, you have a place that you could have.
Well, we had an amphitheater that we had suggested it be completely revamped and make it into a media center. And there's a possibility of that. Even Mr. Parsons had talked to Dana about it the other day at school. So we're hoping that
It already has the roof and it has the.
3 sides of it are brick already.
So it would just be putting up that one side.
That's all it is.
But it would have to be some things so that it's up to code. That's the big issue. Yes, yes, we have to leave one section of it as an exit.
But Dana's aware of both of them.
Yes. And I'm sorry, I get very emotional when it comes to talking about the children at Ranger, but it's very personal for me. And if you've been around me very long, you know that they're my babies, and I take it very personal. So when they make growth, I want to share that. When we're not making growth, I want to strive harder to make sure that we do. So thank you very much.
Hey, how come you don't have how come you didn't have the after-school program? What was the reason for that?
Transportation was a lot of the issue because our children, the bus leaves at 2:20 every day. Well, making connections with Guyan Valley buses and then transferring students and things, it was almost impossible to work it out to have transportation for them. It would be like 5:30, 6 o'clock before they were ever picked up in the evening. And that was just, being there at 7 o'clock each morning was just inconceivable. Yeah.
But you think that you're going to, think that might be coming about this year?
We're going to strive to make that happen.
Well, I was
Yeah, I
my
want-
kids love after-school.
I want that,
I
yeah.
figured that somebody else ought to do that.
Something's going to be worked out. I'm not sure how, but we're going to do it.
All right. West Ham.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and again, welcome to West Hamlin Elementary. We are very happy this evening that you chose to join us for this hour and some time. It's been our pleasure to serve as your host. At this time, I'd like to recognize the staff members of West Hamlin Elementary. If you would please stand so that we can take a look at you. Next, if you are a parent at West Hamlin, if you have a student at West Hamlin, would you please stand?
Can I raise my hand?
You can raise your hand, please. Thank you. And finally, most importantly, the reason why we're here, why we have these meetings, why we have this cussing and discussing all the time. And we have two back there that I think are able to stand, and we have one by oh, well, he is kind of awake now. It's kind of getting late for some of our little ones, but we have our students stand to be recognized. That's not original. They say that good teachers borrow ideas. Mrs. Lucas did that at our welcome back. And she recognized students who were in the audience. And I think that it's important, it's imperative that we do that. That we recognize the real reason that we come to these meetings and do what we do. I'd like to, before we begin, thank the volunteers. You're going to hear more about volunteers in just a few minutes, but thank you, ladies, for preparing our refreshments this evening. Thank you. And now let me walk us through our LSIC presentation. It's going to be slightly different because I'm slightly different. It is my pleasure and honor, I am so proud to say to the school board, to the central office staff, to the West Hamlin community, that West Hamlin did make AYP the second. To maintain or reach 52.15% proficiency in both math and reading language arts. And that is at least a 10-point gain in each subgroup with a 12 in reading language arts. And I will tell you, as you look at your slides and as we go through the slide presentation, I've put it on the presentation. You have those numbers in front of you, and as you look at the screen. Unfortunately, our low SES group, the gap, increased this year. But we know the bar was raised, and we know that students from low SES tend to move a little slower But we have a plan. We have a plan in place. And we will put those strategies into place, and you'll hear more about those as we go through this presentation. The first slide shows our data from 2009 and 2010, and it shows our all groups, low SES, special ed groups, and the gaps. And this is what this year's looks like. And you can see that it went from like 1 point to 5 in the low SES. The one that I like to hinge on, because I'm a positive person, I always look for the best. If you notice, our special ed subgroup in reading language arts, we jumped 3% in that one. Not where we want to be, but we've got a plan. And our slogan this year is 10 again. We believe that with the strategies that we currently have, and the modification of those strategies, and with the new initiatives that we as a staff have agreed to take upon ourselves, that we indeed will get 10% more growth again this school year, which would put us at 62. That's putting it out there. And we really believe, with just 2 initiatives that we'll talk about, or I will talk about, that that's going to happen. Let's look at our next slide. The thing that I chose to do differently this evening is not just focus specifically on West Test data. And the reason I choose to do that, and I'm not trying to bring up any, but in my training, the West Test is at the end. And what I like to look at is current information as current as possible. So what we do at West Hamlin, we look at benchmarks. And we start talking, I've already been into the 3rd, 4th, 5th grade classes. They know that benchmark is just as important as West Test. Because it's based on acuity, it's based on professionals developing these assessments, and it's the same types of questions that are asked on the West Test. So if we do well on these benchmarks, the indicator is we will do well on the West Test. If not, then we've got to go back to work. And that's what we talk to our students about. So this is just some comparison of our first benchmark, benchmark 2, benchmark 3, and here's where it gets very interesting, the next slide. We focused last year on our benchmark 3, and the reason we do that, ladies and gentlemen, is because benchmark 3 is a sampling of West Test. It's not developed by Lincoln County teachers. It's developed by the State Department. So we looked at our benchmark 3, and if you look up there, 10 and 11, and the tier 4 is high, tier 1 is low. So you want big numbers in tier 4, 3, and you're okay with 2. You don't want big numbers in 1. That's basically what that means. And if you look at this data here, and this for me is more important than West Test. Not that West Test is not important, but this lets me know where the students are scoring. And if you look at our kids on tier 4, and my friend Christina talked about growth. This shows that in 2010 we had 22 students in math total in tier 4. It looked like what we were able to accomplish in 2011. And I look for those numbers to increase even more this year. I look for those numbers to increase. And let me explain how we're going to do that. But before I do, I need to let you know about attendance rate. 97.83. Great attendance. Now those numbers seem high, and the teachers will probably say, how in the world would we do that? Folks, that's with everything added in. The doctor's excuses, and the bus notes, and the parents' excuses. When you look at raw absenteeism, it's like, oh, there's no way we got there. But when you add all the other stuff in, that's where it is. For the academic year, for West Test, 100%. So we have a high attendance rate. Boys and girls are coming to school. High participation rate. Great data. And what we try to do at West Hamlin is balance. We balance the engaging fun activities with the hard work. Another one of Mr. King's, a Kingism, work hard, play hard. And in just a few days, August 21st, we're going to play. In the afternoon, our children are going to celebrate. Board members, central office folks, if you can wiggle free on the 21st, come out that afternoon and play with us. And if you can't, August 25th, September, sorry. Thank you, Mrs. Ross. September 25th on Sunday afternoon, we're going to do it again for the community. So if you can't do it on the 21st, come on the 25th and celebrate with our children, your children. We're all in this together. Now, on item number 2 of the agenda, it says plans to improve student achievement. How will we meet AYP, or how do we maintain? Well, folks, again, we're not going to maintain. We are committed to 10 again. We've got different strategies, different things to implement. I could give you a grocery list, but my friends have already covered everything. We basically do almost everything that the middle school and the elementary is doing, so you won't see another slide in the effort to save some time. But we are doing the DIBELS, the SMI, the SRI, the IPAC. We do all of those things. And those are all wonderful strategies. And I'm going to challenge my friends from Guy and Battle and from Ranger to talk to me about these initiatives. And I know Christina's doing it because I saw it on her slide presentation. One of the initiatives that we know will help us grow is vertical alignment. Once a month, we're going to meet K through 5 to talk about math, reading, writing, and technology. Those are the areas where we need to have more growth. We are happy about 52.15. We're going to be happier with 62 or above. It may cost me a little bit of hair color, but I'm going to do it. We're going to do it. And when you see me with the incredible Hulk green, just know that West Hamlin did succeed. More on that later. We constantly at West Hamlin assess our strategies in our classroom. We push in for co-teaching, we pull out, we talk in the hallways, we talk in the teacher's lounge. It's amazing what these professionals do on a daily basis to meet the needs of these students and encourage them. With our vertical alignment and this next thing, it is so powerful, my friends. Student data notebooks. We're going to be fully implementing student data notebooks or folders at kindergarten through 5th grade this year. And students are going to talk about achievement. They're going to talk about attendance. They're going to talk about attitudes. Their behaviors, attitudes towards school, attitudes at home. And they're going to keep little graphs. And they're going to use that in their math classes. Real world application. But not only that, they're seeing what it is that's what we want. We want them to be accountable. And we're moving to that. We are fortunate at West Hamlin to be at a different point in the journey than some of our other friends. We recognize that. We realize that. And if we can do this and get it functioning, please take any ideas we have and use. If it works for you, let me know. If you want to try something we're doing, because I'm watching y'all. And if I can find something that works, I'm going to borrow it. Okay? So those 2 initiatives. The other thing that was asked on this, innovative programs practices. In our practices, we couldn't do what we do at West Hamlin without one special group of people. That's our parent volunteers. Our parent involvement. Again, just as I was pleased to announce that we're at 52.15, I am proud to announce that West Hamlin has 116 people, parent volunteers, waiting in the wings to be approved to work with the children at West Hamlin. And we cannot do these things without the support of our Title I. And with that, there's this three-letter word I'm going to say, and please, I may have to get some dishwashing liquid. SIG. It's such a double-edged sword. The school improvement grant. It's a double-edged sword. It comes with some strings attached. But yes, it helps support that too. But our Title I support is paramount because Title I allows us to do what we do with our parent involvement, or at least gets us started. And these parents have just, Mrs. Burton takes it, she comes to me with the calendar and says, we're doing this, we're doing this, we're doing this. And I say, yes ma'am, yes ma'am, yes ma'am.
And she needs to be full-time.
And she needs to be full-time. Always. That pretty much concludes the presentation on items 1 through 4. Item 5 is facility needs. I am fully aware, we are fully aware, Board, that you know about our needs for expansion. And if you have any information for us tonight, it would be greatly appreciated to let us know where you might be thinking, so that we know how to think and how to talk and how to have discussions, because it's very important to us. Just like Ms. Napper said, those babies are hers. This community, these folks, they're ours, they're mine, and I'm as passionate about what we have here. And had a discussion with some State Department folks today about that. As long I'll do anything, as long as you can prove to me it's moving us forward. But if you want to see the little leprechaun go nuts, you want to see me get angry, mad, distract me from what we're trying to do at West Hamlin and in Lincoln County. That's not going to happen. Not without me saying something. And this is one thing I do know. I know that the professional staff at West Hamlin will stand behind me if I have to stand up and do that kind of thing. We don't want to get ugly, but if we have to, if it's hurting our babies, we're not going to put up with it. We just can't. The other facility need or feasibility question I have, and I know with expansion and you are making considerations and having discussions about which way to go here and there. What is the feasibility of adding restrooms out on this end of the building to our preschool classes, so that preschool would have the ability to go to the restroom at their convenience and not at the convenience of a schedule, and have them walk and move the entire length of a building? Doesn't seem like a lot for me. I have a 28-inch step. I can get to the end of the building pretty quickly. But in the back here, may have to walk from here to here. And I feel bad some days because they just can't help it. They're little bodies. And I have to advocate. And it's a concern, and we've talked about this. So what's the feasibility? Is it something that's feasible? Is it possible? And that's all I have.
Have you talked to Dana about the bathrooms?
I mentioned it, Mr. Matthews, I think a year ago, and with everything, but I'm glad to bring that back.
We talked about last year at the LSIC meeting, and I thought...
What we talked about last year at the LSIC, we had urinals in the boys' bathroom that were not functioning.
Right.
So we had that issue.
Right.
We've corrected that, but we still, with our population, the pressure of just getting them up and down the hallways to restroom with 530 children in this building, and trying to maintain instructional minutes and trying to do what's right for children, mainly what's right for children, what we really need to look at this.
So that's what we need.
Is there room on that end?
I would say that there's room to go 10, 12 feet out.
It's enough for some bathrooms.
Enough for a nice restroom? Yes. I'm sure that there is, and it wouldn't affect the French drain out there. I'm not an expert, but 10 feet should be pretty easy.
I have had several calls about that concern, and he's right, we discussed the urinals the last time. But this is something new, and especially with the growth that they've had here. And it is a big concern.
And the other thing, and I don't mean to be gross, folks, please understand, but when you've got a 3-year-old
Right.
trying to get to a 3rd grade height, it's the custodial button. Please come in and take care of this. So, I mean, there's some real practicality. It don't mean to be gross, but it's slightly funny, but that happens. And we've tried short term. We've built steps for them to get up on. It's not real. That's not real sanitary, and it's not real sanitary because they just miss. So that's out there for your consideration. Any other questions for me?
No, you all have any other questions? No, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Before you leave us, I would like to say, and I wanted this last year, you can see here how much involvement that you have from these parents, and that is contributed to Miss Burton, and I would like to see that full time also.
Thank you. I would like to add one other caveat now that we're off the record. It's another pleasure. Okay, well, just for me personally, I get the opportunity to represent Lincoln County on September 16th at the West Virginia Department of Education. I'll be presenting to all SIG 2 and 3 schools on committed staff. So that speaks so highly of the staff, not of me, but I'm going to do that and do that as well and as professionally as I possibly can because Lincoln County deserves it, West Hamlin deserves it.
You don't have that on there?
I do not have that on my papers. I'm going to get you out early today.
So you need to email it to them and let them watch it in direct play.
I will do that.